Back on the Dirty Hands Clean Money podcast with Diego. Hey, Diego, can you let the people know who you are and what you do?
Hey, obviously my name is Diego. I own Resurrected Fab. We build custom lifts. We do air ride, body drops, pretty much anything, hot rod, motorcycles, anything cool.
So going back on the shop, you used to do a lot of everything, and you're kind of seeing a lot more light because you have been featured on some numerous builds that are coming up that are pretty high tier when it comes to followings and everything like that. How was it like getting featured on the new 2021 Cows Customs build?
Oh, that's like we're friends now, but even before that, I mean, it's almost like a dream come true. Like he's a good guy. Obviously, pretty well known. He's known for amazing builds. So of course, doing his personal truck, yeah, it's definitely a high honor.
Is there any other builds this year coming out that you have a personal favorite, or you have, that you like the most coming out this year?
Yes, sir. Besides Calvin's truck, we have my brother's truck actually, and for those of y'all who don't know, my brother's actually my right hand man at the shop. His name's Nick. We're doing his second gen, so we're happy for that.
It takes a lot of work to do this stuff. How do you feel that you compete against every other shop? What makes you set yourself apart from everyone else?
Of course, we like to say like humble about it. Obviously, we do like quality. We're not very much into putting a whole lot out. We just make sure it's 100%. And there's a lot of there's a lot of badass guys out there. But I mean, yeah.
Do you take inspiration from any of those people when you first started, or do you think you roll as a one-off kind of guy, like you built your own kind of brand?
Yeah, I definitely consider myself a one-off guy because I don't know. I don't like the cookie cutter. I know a lot of lifts, a lot of people just see them as the same, but there's a lot of details and stuff that we like to put in and stuff that and obviously I'm mini truck inspired. I come from the mini trucking side, so I think that puts a little twist on our builds when we do custom stuff.
There's okay, so we've talked quite a bit with other companies and other people. It seems like it comes up a lot, and we talk about Plan B Fab quite a bit. And
Yeah.
What are your opinions on Plan B Fab?
Plan B
Okay, so you really cut out there. I don't know if you can hear me.
You
Like, I
can't,
didn't get any of that.
whether you like it, whether you like. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, that whole section just completely cut out.
Oh,
So I didn't really
shit.
get any of that. If you feel comfortable, I'm gonna ask the question again, and then if you just want to, I don't know, repeat, I guess, what you said, if that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So we get a lot of talk. We talk a lot about Plan B Fab and about everything they do. What are your personal opinions on Plan B Fab?
Uh, my opinion, Plan B Fab. I mean, they're definitely, like I said, whether you like the guy or not, and whether you like his work or not, they're definitely, like, in my eyes, the goats to the lifts and modifying the lifted trucks. They definitely set the bar. They're the first ones who did it. Stuff like that. I'm actually good friends with JFab and all of them, so they cut a lot of my stainless steel and stuff like that. So definitely, I've always respected them because, like I said, they're the first ones to hit the scene. So
And I think you're a little bit different because you do, like you've kind of explained, a lot of people look at Plan B Fab as quantity, and you're all about that, quality kind of thing. And I'm not saying they don't put out quality work, of course, but a lot of people kind of see them as, cookie cutter. It seems like a lot of their stuff looks very, very similar. Is that something that you can, testify that, I guess, what's your opinion on that?
right, I used to think the same thing, like the same way, like, oh, I want to do every lift different, stuff like that. And we do try to do every single lift different, but that also costs us business wise, because every lift we had to redesign. Where I see their point of view on if you have a lift and it's efficient.
Of course. And sometimes, we do a lot of custom work with other things too. And I think sometimes people don't realize that you do pay for custom work. Custom work is very expensive to do. It's very time consuming.
Right.
And sometimes there's a lot of creative input that goes into it. And sometimes you just have to pay for that one-off stuff. Like there's a lot of things that people do that'll never be made again. And that's what it's got to come down to.
Yep.
There's just I guess, what is your opinion when it comes to how do you feel about this upcoming year and setting yourself apart? How do you feel that you're going to go about that?
We're how could I put this? Our main focus right now is actually speeding the stuff up a little bit, because it's taking us a little longer than we like. But like we said, we rather get it done correctly in pristine condition rather than trying to rush it out,
Of course.
But as the time goes on, we like, if we get another Super Duty, we've only done like one new body style Super Duty. So obviously, if we get another one, now we have the measurements for that truck. We've just gotten lucky because we like doing different stuff as well. So we're not complaining. But every truck we do has been a new style for us, a new truck for us. So every one takes a lot of time to remap,
Yeah. Walk me through.
So
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My apologies for interrupting.
no, you're fine. So like the biggest goal for next year is speed it up a little bit and put more stuff out for customers that want it.
Of course. Walk me through a little bit when it comes to a guy walking in the shop or a guy giving you a phone call or sending you an email. Walk me through how you, as a person, set yourself apart designing a lift.
Can you repeat that or like reword it?
Yeah. So sometimes custom work takes a lot of brain power, I guess, if you want to call, a lot of thinking on, especially for you guys, it's a lot of technical stuff when it comes to measurements and everything like that, and
Right.
ride stability, of course. And how do you go about designing something new and working with customers?
Basically, it's hard to answer that, because honestly, we look at the overall. We don't have like a pre idea to the build, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Once the truck gets there, we evaluate it. We talk to the customers, see what they want, and I don't know how, but it works out every time. We find something on the truck or something that the customer says that he likes or something, and we end up running with it, and it works. Like the Tundra, we put little notches around every single little diamond on the lift, the Goat Tundra. We were looking at the truck and we were trying to come up with something different, and I opened the door and all the mats are all stitched leather, and the seats are all diamond stitched leather. So that light bulb went off. We were going to do like little stitching around every hole on the diamonds on the suspension.
The small stuff
And
that
it
really
worked.
sets things apart.
Yeah, and it worked out. Which we paid for that, by the way. It was like 2 weeks of designing, but it definitely paid off.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff that people come out with, and we talked to Resurrected Diesel, funny enough, about lifts and stuff like that, and we kind of talked about renderings and everything like that. Do you, with your builds, a lot of people don't get any input. Do you like to? Would you rather? And I could probably answer this question for you, but there's a lot of renderings that probably come to you and be like, oh, I want to do this. Do you get a lot of input when it comes to helping people out to design a rendering, or is it just like it shows up in my doorstep and I have to do, when we work it out from there?
No, most of the time, people hit me up wanting a rendering of their truck, and then usually I'm the one that tells the rendering guy what to put on it or whatever. Which my rendering guy is CCS. He does good work for us.
Of course. I mean, sometimes people just get, and it's good to hear that you get the input and to, actually get to talk with the design guys, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have that opportunity, and they just get, hey, I want to do this. And then they get a picture of the truck, and then they're like, okay, well, not exactly sure what to do. You don't give me a height, you don't get, this and that. And it's quite difficult.
Right, and usually I ask because everybody goes by the lift size, and I'm kind of odd in the sense that I don't. I ask you how you want your truck sitting on in relation to your like your wheels or your tires. If you want a 44-inch tire, you want the rocker sitting on top of it or skating over it, then that's how we set the truck up. You know what I'm saying?
So you
So
just play around with it completely different than everyone else.
yeah, I literally, if you want your rocker at a 44-inch tire, I measure 44 inches to your rocker from the so.
That's definitely a different way to go about it. How did you decide that that was, the opportune way to do it instead of the original lift style or lift height?
Because a lot of people don't know this, but you can get an FTS lift or a Wicked lift or something like that, and they're both 12-inch lifts, but one will be 2 inches off from the other one. So you can tell me you want a 10-inch lift or an 18-inch lift, but what truck are you looking at? You know what I'm saying? So most of the time I have somebody just to keep it real simple, no confusion, nothing. I'll have them show me a truck or a style of the look that they want, and then I'll set their truck up like that.
Oh, so, there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't really understand everything when it comes to lifts and everything like that. There's a lot of different moving parts. What's a turnaround time on a full length build?
Right now, I mean, we shoot to go not go over at least 5 6 months, but I mean some of them have gone over. Right now, like I said, we're speeding it up. We have a truck in there that's been here for 2 weeks, and it's I would say about 80% done. So we're really trying to get it in 1 to 2 months
Sweet.
for a
So
full
let's
custom lift.
Oh yeah, that's definitely, I think time is the biggest thing. And
Yeah,
when you can provide that convenience to people, it's I think it's great. And I think that's what'll boost business.
right.
I mean, theoretically, you get more trucks in the shop. I mean, more money coming in, of course. And the time is the biggest thing. How are you going to go about increasing that time in the future? I know Plan B Fab and all the quite a few other larger shops, they try to put out builds, you drop off the truck, it'll be done in a month, right? How do you plan
Right.
to get to that status in the future?
Uh, we're actually trying to learn the SolidWorks program. We're actually designing like ancient times 2D still. So we don't have any 3D programming, anything like that. If we can get the SolidWorks done with 3D and stuff like that, we can make stuff fit on the computer. No second guessing, no cutting parts 3 4 times, to make them fit. Right now, it's literally hand scratch built, all tape measure and 2D programming. So
How are you going? I mean, I have the guys work on SolidWorks for, every other, sometimes some random stuff, but how's that going for you? How's, SolidWorks going for you?
my brother actually he's the computer whiz. So I come up with ideas and stuff. We sit down together. and he puts them on the computer. So he's pretty techy with it. I mean, he's getting the hand of it. I would say in no more than a month or two, we should probably get it pretty good.
I think the funny thing with that is I've never met a guy that is absurdly creative and also knows how to do the technology side of it. I've never
Yep.
met anyone that knows that.
I could, like I said, I could probably figure it out if I had to. But honestly, that's my brother's department, and he's, like I said, he's great at it. I'll just come up with an idea, and I'm okay with that. I'll just come up with ideas. You put it on paper, like let's roll.
Well, yeah, and that's the best thing. It's like when you get to a point and it's like you can have someone else do it for you. And especially if you have that great connection with them and you can both sit down and talk over it. And maybe
Yeah.
you have no clue how and that's sometimes that's a disconnect with people is when it comes to putting it from paper to software, it's very difficult because some people on the paper end don't know how to don't even know really understand the programming and if something is
Right.
possible. But when you can get that connection, like that mental connection with someone, and you can really work that out, I think that's the greatest connection, especially with, I think if you knew how to do the processing of the technology and have that much creativity, I feel like your brain might explode.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like that sometimes, and I don't even have to deal with it.
And there's like so many
But
things that go into it. And I think, when you can get that basis down and you have enough, sometimes I'd say every Saturday and Sunday, I take about 4 hours out of my day at the end of the day before I go to sleep. And I
yep.
just write down all the ideas I can, whether it's has something to do with my business or has something to do maybe 10 years down the road or whatever. I mean, creativity is in everyone. You just need to find it. But how do you go about, engaging your creative aspect when it comes to these builds?
Um, I'm honestly not sure. I can picture stuff very, very well, which it took me a little bit to realize that other people can't. So like that's where the renderings are awesome, because like I can vividly see like a full build start to finish. Um, so I guess that's where most of the ideas come. Um, and like I said, most of the time is literally just starting on it, winging it, and it literally just comes as we build it.
And it's like, let's go back and let's talk about how you got started.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I got my first truck at 13. I'm 30 now. So yeah, I started with a little 87 Toyota and I bagged it when I was 15. And then rebagged it when I was 17 and body dropped it when I was 18. Like, so I've been in the mini truck scene for a long time. My uncle's actually the one that got me into it. They started Aftermath Truck Club, which is huge now and international and all that. So, but yeah, that's how I started with Air Ride, and I loved Air Ride. And then Thomas, I don't know if you know, but Thomas King is the first lifted truck that we did. And that came about. I was trying to get his buddy Cycle to bag his dually, and I was trying to do a full frame and an OBS dually. And so we were talking for months and months. And he's like, you know what? He's like, I got a buddy that wants to lift, but he wants Air Ride on it. And I'm like, huh, I love Air Ride. Let's do it, So I did Thomas's truck, and it took off. It got me the Jeep, and then after that, it kept going. And there's business in the lifted trucks.
And how did you, I mean, you're talking about, some of the starting guys. How do you go about setting yourself up in the business world? Because, you did you do the lift? You did the lift on All In JKU, correct?
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of people know that you did that. And I think maybe there was a marketing opportunity that was missed on your end. But I mean, of course, it's that subtle, oh yeah, subtle flex, like, oh yeah, I did that truck or I did that Jeep. What was your aspect of moving into the shop? At what point did you feel like, okay, so we need to take this seriously. We need to start, doing lifts, doing bars, and, doing this full time. How old were you and how did you start that?
It was, if I'm being honest with you, this is not my first go around with trying to have the shop and stuff like that. The shop actually started as Resurrected Paint and Fab because I used to do paint. And I was staying very busy off of paint and stuff like that, custom paint, collision work, stuff like that. And little personal side, I got asthma, so I started getting worse and worse. So I had to quit the painting. So um, I went back to trucking. Did trucking for a little bit. I did the lifted truck that came about. I was doing that on the side, and then I started seeing that people wanted more lifts. So that's when I bought my plasma table. And this is all about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. So I was 27. Yeah, I started doing that. And I'm not going to lie, it's been hard. I had to do the trucking to fund the business at first. And then my brother wanted to get out of his job. So I said, you know what, why don't you go to the shop? I'll pay you weekly or whatever, run the shop while I'm in the truck. It'll help me out a lot, you know? So we did that. That went on for about a year. And then the work started picking up and we were running out of time to do it. So that's when I made the call to go back into the shop.
So is it just you and your brother right now, or do you have
Yep,
employees?
just me and my brother. That's it.
Okay, so do you plan on expanding into a larger shop anytime soon?
Uh, I wouldn't say within the year, probably not. Maybe 2 year goal. We're working on, like I said, to once we have the kids a little more down pat, a little faster, then I can expand and probably get a welder to start welding and then go on from there.
And with that comes more employees, of course, right?
Correct.
And I think that's the hardest part, is to pull the trigger on employees. That's for sure. I mean, when you do your own work and everything like that, when you add employees into things, sometimes it gets muffled. Some aspects don't come out as you think they are, and sometimes it's hard to hire people with the same goals as you do and the same
That,
mindset.
that's one of my biggest issues. It's a huge issue for me. And it's so hard not to hover and try to like pay attention to what they're doing. I have tried to hire people and literally 2-3 mistakes in 1 week. And I honestly, with suspensions and stuff like that, you really can't have that, one bad weld, one loose bolt, something, you're so high in the air, it could end badly.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that body on top, coming down on a fourth of the whole truck. I mean,
Right, it's a
I've
huge
never seen
liability.
it. I've never seen it happen, but I'm sure it's not pretty.
Yeah, it's a huge liability. So that, yeah, I can't really relax with somebody working, and then I end up trying to babysit them, and then I get no work done. So for right now, we're going to try to keep it small, keep it controlled, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. I mean, with us, you gotta be able to rely on those people. I mean, the babysitting comes with it, right? You got to stay and talk to people and
Right.
supervise them for a while. And you almost need another employee to do that for you at times because you're just so freaking busy. But it takes a lot of work. I mean, some people don't understand that, like, oh yeah, I can weld, blah blah blah. But like, if I think the hardest part is if you don't have that same mindset. I think what really sets people apart is if you want to go into a job, really evaluate yourself and really say, hey, I see that you guys are running a business and I love it. I hope to own and start my own type of business in the same type of industry in the future. That to me already, sets off, okay, now this employee has like 2 times more of a chance to get hired because they can understand the aspect of getting quality over quantity, and
Right.
they're going to get the quality, done. And if they fuck up, they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm going to fix this, or I'm going to tell someone who can fix this and not just walk away, because the biggest thing is they want to be in the same industry. And I think people are scared to go into places and say, oh, I really like what you do. I want to do the same thing in the future. I think people are scared to say that, but I think we'd rather hear that than you just saying, "Oh, I just want to work for you."
Right, right. Because even though, I mean, we were there, we were all there at one point, you know. Uh, so we got to remember that. But even if they want to build something, whatever, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to start. I mean, they really got to be dedicated. So if they put that type of dedication into their job, I mean, yeah, it'd be good.
And it's kind of cool, I mean, people are kind of scared. Oh, should I mention that I want to, start my own business, blah blah blah. I mean, there's so much room. I mean, people kind of get worried that, especially up and coming companies, they worry about, oh, am I going to fit in? Am I going to have enough space? Am I going to have enough clientele? The biggest thing you got to look at is people buy new trucks every day. People get new trucks
Right.
every day. People want to rebuild them every single day. And you just got to be able to, stand up. Well, maybe not stand up, but, work with the other companies. I think the automotive industry is very forgiving, maybe when it comes to brands working together. I
Right.
know a lot of companies talk to each other. A lot of clubs talk to each other to get opinions from other people. I mean, just like you mentioned, working with Plan B Fab, or one of the guys over there. It,
JFab, yeah.
it yeah, and it's one big solid connection realistically.
Right. And that's what I've come to learn too. I used to think the scene was like this huge thing. In all reality, once you're in it, it's very, very tight knit. Like everybody knows everybody, everybody talks to everybody, which that really caught me by surprise. It's not as big as you think, you know.
Of course, and I mean it's a big thing you do need to learn when you get into it. So if anyone is listening that wants to start a business when it comes to anything truck related, because I mean we put truck related content out. I mean, I couldn't tell you too much about cars, or I mean maybe, but
Yeah.
the biggest thing is shoot for the moon. Take a couple hours out of your day. I mean, people worry about time. People are like, oh, blah blah blah. I don't got enough time. Let's say you work a full-time job. Oh, let's say you work more than a full-time job. Let's say you work 50 hours a week, 10 hours a day, Monday through
Right.
Friday, and Saturday, Sunday you have off. Take like 3-4 hours of your day, Saturday, Sunday, and work on your project. And maybe in a year you'll have enough backing to be able to release something like that. And it's all about how you put yourself out there. Time is there's so much time, and you just need to figure out, you need to be responsible with your time.
Exactly. You always feel like you have no time, but there's always room. There's always room for something.
Just think about how many times you're sitting on the shitter and you're on your phone, and you combine that time over a week. You've probably got an extra, I don't know, hour and a half to be working on shit, just to take a shit, do
Yep.
your thing, and then get up. Don't take a shit, don't scroll through your phone the whole time and for 5-10 freaking minutes. And you know you could probably add that up over the week, and you probably have an extra half hour to 2 hours a week to
Oh,
just do stuff.
oh, for sure. And what is watching TV and what is sitting on the couch, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of nice being more of an influencer too, because I have the excuse. People are like, you sit on your phone all day and you scroll through TikTok and you scroll through Instagram, and I'm like, well, I kind of have to, because I need to be informed of what's going on.
For
And
sure.
realistically, I get to look at other people's content. I get to make duets on TikTok and all this other shit. And it's part of my business. It's part of growing things, and it's awesome to be able to do. It's a great excuse, but I don't ever find myself on my personal account ever, because it's all, I only follow people that I know, and people that aren't contributing to my business or my scene. I never
Yeah.
find myself on my personal Instagram account. So the biggest thing with that is, social media in certain aspects is good, but it can get you distracted. I mean, I don't know how many times I've caught myself scrolling through TikTok on my personal page, and I'm like, oh shit, I've been sitting here for 30 minutes or whatever, and I could have been doing something else.
There's so many times though that sometimes I am scrolling or something, and I do like to do the social media just to, and I keep up with everybody. Usually like competition, or if you want to say like competition, but like friendly competition.
Yeah.
I like to watch everybody's stuff. One, just to keep up, like keep up with the times. Two, I I couldn't say this enough, and anybody knows me, I pride hugely in not doing the same thing anybody else is doing. Like I hate copying. Like that's one of my biggest pet peeves. So like if somebody's got something, or and I've had customers bring me, hey, I want you to make this, and I say absolutely not. I mean, I'll redo it. I'll figure out another way to change it, but I'm not going to copy somebody else's lift or anything like that. If you like their lift, that's why you should go to that person. You know what I'm saying? They put time and thought and all that into that lift. You should go to that person. So
Yeah.
that's why I like scrolling and watching everything. And sometimes, a lot of times, I come up with ideas and stuff as I'm doing that. So
Yeah, and with Thunder Exhaust, there was people that reached out to us and they're like, oh, we want like a TSO overlay, or they want to do something similar like that, a piece overlay on each, a piece on each side. And I'm like, I don't really want to, because the big thing with that is TSO does have patents on their stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't really want to go to court, nothing. Number two is I don't want to do it. I don't want to do something that everyone else has done and then put my logo on it and say, oh yeah, it's mine. And then, yes, I mean, 8-piece wraparound, eight different pieces. Okay, yeah, I can do something like that. I can do a geometrical something. I mean, I can figure something out, but it's not going to be the exact same. I'm not going to take TSO's design and then just take the TSO logo out and put mine in it. So I've been exploring with that, and I've been trying to think of, I know probably no one's going to hear this that's going to care about it or take the idea, so I don't really care. I've been trying to come out with like actual like lines. So I've been trying to take the aspect of a clothing line and move it into universal parts, because the big thing, the way I roll, is it's how can I get the person to click and buy, just from seeing a picture, right? How can I convert the fastest, because if you have so much product, and this isn't like down talking anybody, but like TSO has so much product on their website that some people scroll through it all and they're like, shit, I don't know what to get. And then they leave and then they don't have anything purchased or even in the cart, or they might have 100 things in the cart or whatever, but they're not going to buy any of it because they don't know what to, they're going to get very indecisive because they want their build to look amazing because that's their baby. And then they're just never going to buy anything because they don't know. And I've seen that happen plenty of times. I do that myself. Sometimes I'll scroll through certain pages and I'll be like, oh, I like that, and I like that. Fuck, which one do I get? And then I never buy anything and find another company that I see one that I really like, and it's just slightly cheaper. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take a chance, buy, and it ended up being a great product. That's the biggest thing, is creating, maybe not cookie cutter, but certain aspects, like things that set it apart. Like what I'm trying to do is create like 3 different lines, like a show line, a basics line, and like an off-road line, and try to split the website into 3 different parts. So like when you open it right up the website, it's like hits you right in the face, and you click on a different section. Like you click on, oh, I want a show tip. So then it'll take you to the show page. And there's like within that one bracket, there's like 3 different kinds. And then inside each of those kinds, there's 3 different tips. So the show bracket has 9 tips. The off-road has 9 tips. The regular one has 9 tips, whatever. And then under each tip, there's different variants, right? But the variants come with people just adding it in. So, people are like, oh yeah, you only sell 18, 20, fuck, math is hard. 27 different tips. But the way I look at it is I have to look at all the variants. So 27 tips, that's probably 180, 190 different variants, right? Because of the inlet and the outlet and everything like that.
Right.
And that's why we're kind of moving away from custom work a little bit, because I can't justify it right now. Maybe in the future we'll move back into it and we'll work some more stuff out. But that's why trying to get those, TSO has seen massive success with run of the mill, everything looks the same. I mean, if you want a powdered different color, it costs a lot more money, but or a lot of, they send it off raw, because realistically, if they want to paint it with a spray paint can that's high heat, engine paint, it don't look bad. I've seen some. I can tell the difference between that and powder coat, of course. But I'm not saying it looks bad. I mean, if it matches, it matches. A 30-foot truck is a 30-foot truck.
It gives people a choice too. I mean, is there, at the end of the day, it's their tip, So
of course. And I think people get there's companies that don't claim things, if you want to call it, like if they get tagged in pictures and for instance, it's like spray painted or whatever, they remove their tag because they don't want to be like recognized for that. And I'm like, why? It's they like you're not losing anything from that. You're getting promotion, they bought your product. People get really offended. Like I don't know if you've seen this pit viper thing going around. About
No.
You haven't or you have?
I've seen the pit vipers, but no, I haven't seen anything going around
So
on it.
on Easter, Pit Viper put out a very rude comment about Jesus and Easter, and just like kind of degrading the religion, and just it was a joke, but a lot of people didn't take it as a joke. So the way I look at it from a business perspective,
for you.
yeah, I mean, business perspective, okay, that was probably not a smart idea, but they did it on Christmas, they did it on 4th of July. So, they kind of do it. And I think this is the only time that people recognize it. And maybe it got a little out of hand. I mean, it wasn't really respectful. But the way I look at it is people are crushing their pit vipers, right? And I'm like, I don't think if the company does care, I mean, they fired the employee that put that out. But the way I look at it is I don't think Pit Viper cares if you crush them. One, you're giving them more publicity. There's hundreds of millions of views on TikTok of people crushing their pit vipers. Okay, they're getting more publicity, but they're also, people are understanding, okay, maybe this isn't a great company to work with. But there's plenty of people out there that are like, I'm not crushing my pit vipers. I just paid $100 for some fucking sunglasses. I'm not crushing them,
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how I kind of look at it. It's like Pit Viper got its money. They're not going to be mad if you crush your own pit vipers. Like, they're not going to be mad. I mean, I just don't really want to say anything that is gonna like sound wrong, but realistically, they got their money. That's what they got their money. That's what they were looking for.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like, what can you do? I mean, now there's people boosting other brands.
Publicity, and I get that. I don't follow that. See, I don't like there's other companies that do that stunt. Like they'll do stuff for people to like talk shit about and whatever. And either way, they're talking, and it works. But like personally, I don't chase that kind of clout. Like I don't know. I just keep it simple, no drama and shit like that.
Well, Whistling Diesel built the brand off of pissing people off, right? So
for sure, I love that guy. I think he's a fucking genius.
He's so smart. He's so funny. I called it too. It's bullshit. I called it. And no one's going to give me credit for it. On a podcast and it was before the release of the shirt. The podcast came out after the shirt, which was ironic. That's why no one's going to give me credit. We were talking to the guy that does all of our printing for all of our businesses with the merchandise. And I was talking to him, and I was like, Whistling Diesel could put out a shirt that has a dick on it and say, I'm a retard for buying this shirt, and people will buy it. Right. and he's like, oh, you're probably right. And then the next day, the day before I put out the podcast, a week after we recorded the podcast, he put out a shirt that says, this shirt is worth $1,000, and it's worth $1,000 on Bunker Branding Co. And I was like, I fucking called it. I knew it. And there was like 20 people that's bought this shirt so far or something like that. And I'm like, I'm a genius. I knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
And it's funny because people buy it. I mean, it's the big point shirt. Was it's a Whistling Diesel shirt. You're going to buy this shirt because it's a Whistling Diesel shirt.
Yeah. And it's I think it's kind of funny, but
I was like, Noah's going to give me, I'm not getting any credit for this. And I call it a week before it happened. Might have not been the same contents, but the overall arching goal was it's a shirt sold by Whistling Diesel. It's not anything crazy. It's just his brand. And he's playing you not playing you, but because exactly you're paying for $1,000 shirt. It's a Hanes shirt that says this shirt's worth $1,000. It's why you pay for Nike. It's why you pay for Jordan. They're not, whatever. It's their brand. That's what you're paying for. And you're paying for the Whistling Diesel brand when you pay for a shirt that costs $1,000.
That's nuts.
It's funny though. I don't think I could ever, justify paying $1,000 for a shirt, but he put out a video
that's
that
like
was
to me, that's like the to me, that's like the Yeezy stuff. Like,
yeah.
it looks like you just pulled it out of a dumpster and or the clothing brand or whatever, and people buy it and pay like tons of money for it.
And people are like, oh yeah, Kanye. Oh yeah, so cool. Thank you for putting holes in my t-shirt. Yay.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Don't get it. Don't get it at all.
No.
You know, it's funny though, because he put out a YouTube video that was like, oh yeah, if like 1,000 of you bought this shirt, I'll go buy a Bugatti and we'll run it through the forest. Because he just bought a new I think old ranch or whatever,
Yeah.
piece of property that he's clearing of the trees. And he's like, yeah, if you guys buy, 50 or 500 or 1,000 shirts, I'll go buy a Bugatti tomorrow and I'll run it through the forest. And I was like, that's funny. Like some people should buy that. I'm not gonna buy it. I mean,
Yeah,
I can't justify that. If I could figure out how to write it off as a tax write-off, I could. Okay. FBI, government who's listening to this, close your ears for a second. I could probably figure out how to create a tax write-off for almost anything except food. I mean, food, you can write off food for employees.
For meetings and stuff.
Yeah, but I don't have employees to give food to, so sorry, I can't write food off yet. But I could think of almost anything. Meeting. Yeah. I had a business the IRS is like, why are you writing off $10,000 worth of food? And I was like, oh, I had a meeting every day with myself. And I was hungry, and they're like, you ate 8 sandwiches. And I was like, yeah, I was super hungry. They're like, I don't believe it.
Right.
And whatever. I mean, yeah. So IRS, please don't sue me. I mean, this year I haven't made a lot of money anyway. So, I put all of my money back into advertisement. It seems like whatever it takes to help me live. Great. I don't buy anything crazy. I don't spend a bunch of money on anything. I don't buy $90,000 Mercedes-Benz couches. Hashtag Logan Paul. Sorry, I don't do that. That's not the guy.
That's me too. No, I don't like spending money like that. Like even shoes and stuff. Like once in a blue moon, I'll buy like a nice pair and it'll last me for a while. Because honestly, it's rare when I'm in really nice clothes. Like it's always usually shop clothes or something, or boots or something, So
yeah, I always wear, like, the most expensive thing I buy is boots, because high quality boots. But if I'm running around and it's nice outside, I wear $3 shorts from Walmart, the only shorts I ever buy because they're nice and they're comfy. When I lift, $3 shorts, same shorts. I buy on sale Nikes, when they're on sale at whatever place they are, $65 to $70 for a pair of shoes, because probably I'll jump out of the truck and I'll land in a mud puddle, and then I'll throw them in the washer, and I'll wear them like for 6 months. I'll throw them away because you're garbage. But whatever. I'm not ashamed of saying this either. Like 90% of my shirts, if they don't have my brand on them, are free. I get a lot of them from Sturgis. Actually, I'll go up there and we'll talk, and they get like Chevy, Ford. I don't think Ford does it. They might. I don't think Ford does it though. Chevy, like all those other brands up there, they give out free t-shirts. And I was like, okay, I'll take a free t-shirt. I have like 40 t-shirts in my closet, and probably 30 of them I didn't pay for. I mean, if you want, okay, fine. If you want to call it driving up to, Sturgis, okay, you paid for the t-shirts, you paid for gas, you paid for shut up. That's not what I'm talking about. I didn't pay for the t-shirt.
That was your vacation.
Yeah. If anything, I can make money off sales of just, oh yeah, I do this. And like, oh, I'll check you out. That's the biggest thing is me, taking the time, and I say, hey, can I go to Daytona and make it worth it? Right. And if I don't go to, like, we're going to Daytona just for Dirty Hands Clean Money, not for any other business I own, nothing. We're just going there for Dirty Hands Clean Money to record content all week. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, maybe I'll throw some business cards at people if they're interested, but probably not. The biggest thing is we're going to try to switch over to, instead of Dirty Hands Clean Money podcast, that's the Instagram, Dirty Hands Clean Money media. We're going to actually put out, content. We're going to try to do build walkarounds and, short-term interviews. Hopefully in the future, we'll be able to drive around places and do shop tours and shit, but who knows?
That'd be awesome.
And we had some interest, and we want to create a podcast van. so then we can do visual podcasts, right? It's not super professional right now. I'm sitting in my office. I've got a window as a background. Yeah, cool. Someone wants to watch that? No, no one wants to watch that. If it would be a little more formal if I had a studio, at least one person had like a formal background, but I don't. I have my camera. My camera on my computer, and that's it. So I want to be able to, create that van, and it'd be cool to drive around to shows and even like to people's houses or whatever off season, and be able to record these podcasts and have all the setup in there. That'd be cool. So any sponsors listening, if you want to hit me up, that'd be great.
For sure. No, that's like the same thing with the shop. Like sometimes I gotta like kind of warn a customer, like, I don't know what you imagine my shop being, or like if it's big glamorous AC shop, but honestly it's not. We have a little 3-bay old ass building. Like, we just do work. I mean, but people sometimes they tie the shop to the work, and that's not how it is.
Well, we had a guy on from Custom Kids Cars, and he's one man show, and he does all of his building stuff in his like house garage. And he's like, yeah, it's not pretty, but the stuff that comes out of it's really fucking sick. I'm like, people, kind of judge that a little too heavily. It's like, I mean, okay, if you have people consistently showing up to the shop, people are normally going to put a nice face on it. Maybe the back's not great, but the face is nice.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. But, I think it gets judged too heavily sometimes.
Yeah, it's having a storefront, and like you said, not everybody comes in and out, or it's not like we have daily customers or anything like that, because we do the custom work. Most of our work is like from out of state, or at least out of the county, stuff like that. So it's not as critical as a storefront, but yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, do I care if I go? Okay, it's a little different. If I go to a store and I want to buy a couch, I would hope the store looks nice. But
Yeah.
if I'm sending my truck somewhere to get built, or let's say I'm ordering something off, online, and I just see the picture of the product, I don't care where it comes from, as long as it doesn't give me like herpes if I touch it. If we're good, don't give me some disease.
Sure.
We're pretty all right.
As long as it doesn't come from China.
Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, fuck. I think people, I don't know if they do it, but I'm gonna have to take a guess and say MBRP does a lot of stuff out of China. I don't know. I've never seen a from USA on their website, which is like a big boast to have, especially with a large brand. Never seen it. So unless I'm just stupid and I fucking scrolled past it, which probably could have happened. I've never seen it. So
being a big company, most likely they are bringing it from China.
When you can sell an exhaust tip for $67, and it's like not round, so you had to actually weld everything together. It's an octagon. You can't tell me that you're making money off of a $57 exhaust tip, that you made in the USA. You can't tell me that's true, unless you have you paid $10 million for one robot to do everything, which it wouldn't be even $10 million. It'd probably be $50 million.
Right.
Like, that's a flex to say made in the USA. And I think some people are like, oh, I can go to MBRP and buy this, and this for,
that's not
a
hand built. That's not a hand built.
I mean, it's hand built by the 12-year-olds in China. Go for it.
Yeah. Right.
And it's like,
it's fucked up, but it's true.
I mean, yeah, it's not cool. That's why, I mean, I try to buy everything here, USA made. I mean, okay, everything in my house is in USA made. What can I do? Because whatever. I mean, you can't, I mean,
we don't make
I'd go
couches.
I'd go broke.
Yeah, we don't make couches.
Yeah, we don't make couches. Well, yeah. But if I had the money, I would get it. There's some cool upholstery shops that I want to get. There's a couch in my house in the man cave that I would love to get upholstered, but I really don't want to spend like $3,000 on a couch looking nice. So, that goes back again to spending money on stupid shit. If I had $10 million laying around, maybe it's $3,000 for your couch, but
I'm not
I don't have $10 million laying around.
I'm not saying it'll be cheap, but it'll look cool. Take it for the boy.
See, that's the biggest thing with content. It's like if it can make me $3,000 because I can make a video on it, okay, no problem. But the biggest thing is people like my friends are like, oh, why don't you buy a new truck? Why don't you get your truck built? I'm like, I don't have enough following to make it make sense to me. Like I can't make money off this truck yet. Once I have the stadium and the stage presence to be able to make a build series and make money,
And take the
I have
truck to
no
shows and
problem.
all
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
have the time to take the truck to shows. Yeah, no
Uh,
problem. Absolutely. I'd be the first one to jump on it, but I don't have that right now because
100%. And a lot of people don't realize the capital it takes, like to keep a business running. Like,
oh yeah.
And that's not even like, that's just to keep it running. That's not even if you start putting in advertising, trying to keep your website up, trying to go to shows, have booze. Like it takes a lot of money. And even to sustain that guy for a month while he's learning to do whatever you want him to do, while he's basically making you lose money for a month.
Oh yeah. And it's like, I don't know about you, but especially with our physical products that we're making, it is very hard to have free advertisement. The biggest key form for us for advertisement, if we were to go about it, is giving out discounts, very large discounts, or giving out, almost free product at a certain point. And that's the biggest thing for advertisement for us. If you have a social media company or an agency, so, marketing is so fucking easy. It's unbelievable because you can just use, I blew up on TikTok the other day, 1.3 million views, 230,000 likes. And then I gained like 20,000 followers from it. Yeah, free video. I was sitting in my bed, and this is why I scroll through TikTok more now. Because I was sitting in my bed, I saw this video, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking stitch this. I'm gonna duet this. And then I got 1.3 million views. Oh, great. Marketing's free in that aspect, but like that doesn't happen to every company.
No.
And it's like, you can do that and you can become famous. I always knew like the large creators, Charlie D'Amelio, 100 million followers on TikTok, was like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's not talent, doing what she's doing is kind of talent, whatever you want to call it. Looking at a camera and lip syncing should not get you 47 million views, whatever. It's entertainment. Right. And then I was like, oh, maybe it takes a little bit to blow up, maybe it takes some actual work. And then I took 5 minutes out of my day to make that video. I was like, no, maybe she doesn't have talent at all, because this only got 1.3 million views, but I've only posted like 10 fucking videos. Like, this is not how that works.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird because you think a video like, oh, this is going to flop, and then it takes off. People, you don't ever know like what they want to watch or what they'll take to, Yeah,
and you'll never be able to read anybody's mind like that.
Nope.
So
Go ahead.
No, you got
it. TikTok, actually, I was actually fighting TikTok for a long time. I'm like, oh, you guys are always like on social media. That's another junk, like whatever. And then I actually got it. I said, you know what? I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look through it, whatever. And I couldn't get off for like 3 hours. And it blew my mind. And I love it. I love seeing it. I love seeing people succeed and stuff like that. It blew my mind watching people like blow up on there. Like, there's some people that actually have a lot of talent, and they're getting recognized because of TikTok,
And it's a good way to grow your business. It's, you're almost losing out of not making videos. Do you have a TikTok account?
I have a TikTok, and I'm one of those that are slacking on it. I only got 2 videos on it. But yeah, and I still, like I said, I'm computer stupid. I have to figure out how to share my customers' videos, because my customers, they'll share the shit out of their trucks, but I need to share it onto my page,
For sure. And I think it's a great opportunity. I try to put out content, twice, 3 times a week, which I should be putting out. You should realistically with TikTok put as much out. You could put 50 videos out in a day and you wouldn't get like shadow banned or nothing like that. it's just how they hit is so stupid. I mean, if you put out like 2 videos a day for a week, one of them's bound to get some recognition, whether that's 1,000 to 10,000 views, depending on who you are. And then if you just keep doing that, it'll, cascade and make it, 10 times, 20 times bigger. I mean, you just got to be consistency, right? Consistency is
Right.
key.
And once you hit the like viral videos a couple of times, I think that's it. It's pretty much, as long as you keep posting, you're good.
Of course. And with that, that has been the Dirty Hands Clean Money podcast. I appreciate, Diego, you coming on. Let the guys know what you got going on in the future, and let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, we got a couple builds coming out. We always have something that we like to hold back on until the shows. But SEMA's going to be huge this year. We're dropping a few things that nobody's ever seen. So make sure to follow us on Resurrected Fab. Actually, Diego_Resurrected_Fab on Instagram. And I also have the TikTok, which is Resurrected Fab. And on Facebook, we have Resurrected Paint and Fab.
Brother, we appreciate you coming on today.
You still there?
Yep, still here.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
All right, brother. I hope everyone has a great rest of their day, and we'll hopefully see you next episode.